first, let us get into the concept of the roots of a quadratic. What are the roots of a quadratic? The roots of quadratic are the values of x, where the values of y equals 0. In another words, if you have a formula like this, the roots of this function is the values of x that makes the y equals 0. We can represent in the graph as the x-intercepts in the xy plane. This point, this point, this point, this point. Those are called the real roots of the graph. Now those are called the real roots of a graph. There's another kind of roots called the imaginary root of a graph. For example, if you have a graph like this, now you can see that there is no x-intercepts, but this graph may have an imaginary root, and the way we can find it will be discussed later. Now, how to find the roots of a quadratic? We have two, or we can, let's say, three ways to find it. The first one is by factoring, the second one is by the quadratic formula, and the third one by the calculator. Now let's talk about the quadratic formula, and before talking about it, let's talk about the discriminant. There's something called discriminant, which is d is equal to b squared minus 4ac. If you have a function y is equal to a x squared plus bx plus c, the discriminant of this function is given by this formula: b squared, which is this, square minus 4ac. Okay, so why do we use this discriminant? Why do we need it in our mathematics? Actually, we use it to know if our quadratic equation has one real solution or two real solutions or no real solutions. How can we know this? When we have the discriminant d is bigger than 0, then we have two real solutions. If we have d is equal to 0, then we have one real solution. If we have d is equal, or sorry, is smaller than, when we have d is smaller than 0, then we have no real solutions or no real roots. Now let us take some examples about this discriminant. Now suppose that we have an equation like x squared plus 2x plus 1. What is the discriminant of this equation? We have a is equal to 1, which is the coefficient of this here, 1 multiplied by x. B is equal to 2, and c is equal to 1. Now let me write it again here: b squared minus 4ac. Now the discriminant of this equation is b squared, which is 2 squared minus 4 multiplied by a, which is 1, multiplied by c, which is 1. So this equals 4 minus 4, which equals 0. So when we have d, the discriminant, is equal to 0, then we have one real solution, which means that the graph of this function intersects with the x-axis at just one point, maybe like this, maybe like this, but just in one point. Okay, now another example is, let us take y is equal to x squared plus 3x plus 2. We have a is equal to 1, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to 2. Let me write it again. b2 minus 4ac. This is the discriminant of the function. Now let us find the discriminant of this function. We have b squared 3 squared minus 4 multiplied by 1, 4 multiplied by 2, which is 8. We have 9 minus 8 is equal to 1, which is bigger than 0. So we have our discriminant is equal to 1, which is bigger than 0, which means that we have two real solutions or two real roots, which means that our graph intersects with x at 2 points, like this or this. You can see 2 points. Now let's take another example. For example, if we have y is equal to 5x squared plus 3x plus 6. We have the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. The discriminant of this equation, we have a is equal to 5, b is equal to 3, and c is equal to 6. So we have b squared, we have 9 minus 4 multiplied by a, which is 5, multiplied by 6, which is 9, minus 120, which is 111, minus 111, which is smaller than 0. So our function does not intersect with the x-axis or has no real roots. And this we have studied those 3 cases.